Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. If there's one thing I learned from the last 4 years of permacrisis, starting with COVID-19, but continuing with inflation, with all the dramas with Putin. If there's one thing I learned is that Americans, and possibly the Western world in general, is really good at having an opportunity to do something and then squandering it completely. What do I mean by that? Well, during the pandemic, when we all learned how to wash our hands and how to be mindful of germs, there were plenty of opportunities to use that to learn about taking good care of our bodies, respecting our bodies, if nothing else, right? Too many people treat their bodies like a dump. Even some of the younger generation. I was working at a tutoring center, and one of my students comes in with this some kind of artificial tan on her body, and not to mention they're constantly consuming all sorts of crap, and then they're worried about somebody coming within 6 feet of them, right? This should be a holistic approach, right? Not just stay 6 feet apart, right? This is a holistic, take good care of your body. Now, when we are working remotely, first of all, the concept of working remotely, too many people like to micromanage and think that, oh, just because you're away, you're not doing good work. You know, I used to work for Bloomberg, and recently Mike Bloomberg was complaining about how ever since remote work, the people are playing golf like crazy. Golf courses are occupied much more so than before. Okay, well, how's your Bloomberg terminal going, right? If playing golf is allowing your employees to write the best Bloomberg terminal ever, that's a good idea, right? So, for example, I invest in precious metal mining stocks, rare earth metal mining stocks. Do you think I care how these miners live their lives? And I care about if they're doing well, right? If the way they're doing well is by I don't know, doing something that I'm against, right? Maybe I talked about how people treat their bodies like a dump. If that's what makes them the best miners in the world, especially if it does it in the long term, right? It's probably not, right? In the short term it might, but not so much in the long term. Then go ahead and do it, right? I bet Mike Bloomberg doesn't like golf, right? He probably likes baseball or some other sport, because nobody's going to openly complain about the sport that they like, right? I got to find out what his favorite sport is so I can rebut him on that, right? Now, when we were working remotely, I think that could have been a great opportunity to get rid of daylight saving time. And unfortunately, it looks like this year we're still going to adjust. I'm so glad to be in Arizona because I really despise the adjustments. Now, I think there's a lot of politics behind it. I can't find another civilian who is for daylight saving time. I'm like, who voted for this stuff, right? But I think there's a big political reason for it. The politicians don't want us, the people, to realize we actually have control over stuff like this, right? And then before the inflation problems, I used to really despise how people idle their cars. I mean, it's one thing when it's, right now here in Arizona, on a hot day it could be 110, but you know what? There's another solution. Get out of the fucking car, right? You got your friend or somebody who goes into the store to get 2 items. Why don't you get out of the car with that person, right? I mean, I know some people are going to argue there are some people who are disabled or something. This is not even most of the people. Most of the people are just lazy. And I think we really squandered an opportunity to be more active and to network more in our lives. Yes, I realize there are people who are disabled and can't get out of their car, but that's a small fraction of the people who are idling in their car. Some people say that they're they got kids in the car or something like that. you know what? Take your kids out of the car, go into the store, and maybe they'll get a chance to network with more people, right? Anyway, and then we had I really thought. See, when people tell me about how broke they are, come back to me when you can only afford to drive 55 miles an hour on the freeway because you can't waste your gas. Come back to me when you actually have to give up a few food cravings that aren't good for you anyway. Then tell me how broke you are, right? Don't do it the other way around, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.